So Richard, tell us, from a financial standpoint, how big is this September 14th fight going to be?
No question about it, and we have some experience in that because we promoted the biggest one so far, 2007, De La Hoya and Mayweather. I have no question that when all the revenue streams are added together, that this fight will be the biggest yet in the history of boxing. We already set the record with the Life Gate in Las Vegas. Previous record was 18.4 million. This one, $19.1 million in ticket sales. Tickets sold out in less than an hour. So you look at all these revenue streams, you add them all together, I have no question that the overall revenue record will be broken. If the pay-per-view record is going to be broken, which is at 2.5 million homes, De La Hoya Mayweather, I don't know. I don't have the crystal ball, but if I would bet on one fight who can break the record, and it certainly is this one. Why? Well, with Floyd Mayweather, you have an undefeated fighter. With Canelo Alvarez, you have an undefeated fighter. Both guys have huge followings. Floyd now is the highest paid athlete in the world, has a tremendous following, which is sort of like divided, I think, his following. There are those followers which love him, respect him for his skills, which are maybe once in a lifetime. And then there are the other followers who follow him and because they can't wait to see him lose. And that second group sort of like lost a lot of steam in the last few years because Floyd have just dominated everybody and has put together amazing performances. But now, this time, fighting the undefeated, younger, stronger, bigger Saul Alvarez, that other group is getting a bit momentum and they say, well, maybe this is the guy who could actually beat Floyd Mayweather.
So how's the promotion been for this fight versus some of Floyd's past fights which you've been involved in?
Well, we did that the 11-city tour about 3 months ago. We took this into Mexico, East Coast, West Coast, Midwest, and wherever we went, huge crowds. I think if I add them all together, well over 200,000 people, which sort of like, to be honest, surprised us a little bit. I mean, when we were here in New York at closed down Times Square, and we had 10,000 people here, and the way the fans reacted, I think, exceeded even our wildest expectations. And what was interesting as well is the fabric of the crowds which attended, they were all open to the public, which attended these press conferences. It was families, there were children, there were wives, there were husbands, there were African Americans, there were Hispanics, there were whites, there were Asians, you know. This is really a fight for the masses, and I think that's what we realized in that tour, how big this fight really is.
Now, as head of Golden Boy, obviously you're very intimately involved, as head of the biggest boxing promotion company in the country. You know, there's been so much focus on Floyd and Manny Pacquiao, particularly over the last 5 or 6 years. They've really driven the pay-per-view train. Those guys are both nearing the end of their careers, will likely retire over the next 2 or 3 years. Where does boxing go from there?
The key is what we have seen in the last, particularly 12 to 18 months, the best fighting the best. That's what people want to see. The days of the tune-up, thank God those days are gone. License fees, networks have trimmed their budgets and cannot afford all these tune-ups of the tune-ups. So we are seeing the best fighting the best. And that's exactly what we're going to see on September the 14th. And for the first time ever, that Mayweather-Pacquiao fight, people gave up on that, and people don't really talk about it anymore. There was a time when everybody asked me, well, are they going to fight each other? Nobody asks me that anymore. The two fights people wanted to see the most, and we're hopeful that they're going to get done, but we're skeptical that they're going to get done, maybe because of the experience with Mayweather-Pacquiao not happening. The two most anticipated fights were Mayweather against Canelo and Lucas Matisse against Danny Garcia. And on September the 14th, both of those fights are going to be on the same night, the same pay-per-view. So boxing fans, fight fans are going to really have an amazing treat that night to see four of the best fighters in the world in amazing matchups.